Not much, but everything is predicated on if their quarterback has matured, if he's going to do a better job of protecting the football. Skip, I love the draft picks they got. They got an offensive lineman in the first round to pair with Conklin, who they got in free agency. They made some solid moves, but everything is predicated on Baker Mayfield. And since I have yet to see it, I want to see it with my own eyes, and then I'll say, okay, they've arrived. I'm taking the Ravens. Skip, they added Calais Campbell in the offseason. You look at the draft, they get Patrick Queen from LSU, a sudden, impactful linebacker. They signed J.K. Dobbins, another running back, ran for 2 bands at the Ohio State. They pick up a slot receiver in Devin Duvernay. I wonder if he's any kin to Ava DuVernay, the American filmmaker. I don't know, Skip, but this kid can fly. This kid can run. He caught over 100 passes at the University of Texas last year, and so I love what they're doing. They're giving, Skip, if you notice what they did now, they increased the defensive line because they said what happened last year is not going to happen again. There's not going to be another situation where a team runs the ball down our throat and we can't get the ball back for our quarterback and our offense. And then for the offensive side, there's we're going to get more explosive at the running back position and we're going to get more explosive at the wide receiver position. So I love what the Ravens are doing. And John Harbaugh, they're lockstep and barrel. I love what they're doing. There's no uncertainty. You have a pecking order. Everybody understands it. They have a Ravens way, the way they do things. I'm taking the Ravens in that division. Now, Skip, Big Ben comes back next year. We'll see how he plays coming off the elbow surgery. But Ben has a lot of miles on that body. Ben is taking some punishment. Cincinnati, we know they're a work in progress. But I'm taking the Ravens in this division.
Quick point on Devin Duvernay. You won't remember this, but I kept telling you I want him on my pro football team because he haunted my Oklahoma Sooners every time they played him. You can't cover him in the slot. He didn't look like he ran that fast to me. And then he goes to the combine and times 4.3 something. And I'm like, game over.
Yeah.
And then the Ravens get him.
Yeah.
Not fair, because trust me, he will become a new security blanket on 3rd and 4 for Lamar Jackson. So I give you that they look invincible, but I definitely give this upgraded Browns roster a shot. And it's exactly what you just said. It comes down to Baker Mayfield. Can you take a step that you took backward last year? Can you take it forward? Once you got 2 new tackles, as you point out, you got 2 stud tackles, your protection has to be a little better than it was last year. And you got Austin Hooper at tight end, and obviously Njoku's going to be back. He broke his wrist last year. And then that Harrison Bryant that they drafted, he was just the most productive tight end in America last year at Florida Atlantic. And I like him. When I just watch his tape, I say he can play. I think he'll contribute a little bit. So the problem is they just fired the man who picked Baker Mayfield. They just fired the coach who believed in Baker and who coached him and defended him last year. And all of a sudden, Andrew Berry takes over as the youngest GM in all of pro football at age 32 last January. And I got to give him an A+ for everything he's done so far. It's spectacular. He has put Baker in a position to succeed next year that I think he really wasn't in last year when the expectations ran wild and then ran over Baker Mayfield. Again, he did way too many Progressive insurance commercials. I think it worked. I know he made a ton of money, but every other commercial on TV was Baker in his house in the Browns Stadium for Progressive. It's too many. It's too much. It painted too big a target on Baker's back. We need to cut back on the commercials, and we need to up the ante on the commitment to becoming the quarterback I believe Baker can become. Now, again, the problem is what a lot of people think is the strength. I thought they were going to trade Odell, and they did not before the draft. Maybe they still will, but I doubt it. So last year, to a fault, Baker tried to make Odell happy and then keep him happy while juggling footballs between Odell and his best friend, Jarvis Landry. It's hard to do. And again, Odell looked like he was in decline last year because I don't think his heart was in playing in Cleveland for the Browns. He's a Big Apple guy. He's an LA guy. and he's stuck out in the hinterland playing in Cleveland. He never seemed to warm up to it. All of his numbers were career lows. So can Baker figure out how to put him sort of back in the right place in the offense and spread the ball and start throwing it to Austin Hooper and Njoku and make this offense go as a multiple offense instead of a force the ball to Odell offense? That's what has to happen. Baker is gifted enough to do that. I still believe in him. And when you add Carl Joseph and Grant Delpit at safety. I'm not the biggest Grant Delpit guy, but they got him later in the draft in the second round. I'm okay with that. They'll upgrade the safeties. So again, if you get Myles Garrett back and you still have Olivier Vernon and Ogunjobi, they got firepower on defense. This is a good football team. If Baker can play the way he did in several games when he was a rookie, and the way he always plays against Baltimore, because he lights up Baltimore. He lit them up last year. I think they're good enough to challenge the Ravens this year.
Skip, for me, you said what Baker struggled with, he's trying to get the ball to Odell. He's also need to stop trying to get the last word. Because anytime somebody criticizes him from this side of the table, he always wants to take a parting shot back. And you know what you signed up for, Baker. Everybody is not on your fan club. Our job is to critique your play. And your play was not very good, so it's our job to point that out. You don't have to get the last word. You can get the last word, go play well. That'll shut it all down. All that talking, and you got something snide to say about every time someone says something about you that's negative. If you go play well, that's the best last word you can give. You don't always have to verbally respond. Just respond with your play. I'm not saying just let people run over you. But you don't have to respond to every single thing, Skip.
Yeah. Last quick point. Kevin Stefanski, the new Browns coach, worked minor miracles with Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. Maybe he can do the same for Baker in Cleveland.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.